What's good? What's good? Who with me? Nobody? What the hell? Come in. Come on. Late start, but I had to get my sandwich on. Hit the tag, hit the share, let them know we right here. What took y'all so long? I've been on for 5 minutes. Nothing beats a bologna sandwich. Who with me? Angela Penny, I might shock you today. I got a secret. TC, what's good? Brenda Early was hiding. Y'all ready? What's good? Sorry about that, guys. I got off to a late start. Can I just eat the rest of this sandwich if you guys don't mind? If you guys don't mind, can I just go ahead and finish this up? It's been a long, hard day. I got my Who Day gear on. We rocking it all week in support of the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm not going anywhere with it. I am going to rock Cincinnati gear all week, non-stop. And I'm going to tell you how faithful I am right now with the Bengals. Win or lose on Sunday, Monday I will have the Bengal gear on. Makes no difference to me. This is a winning season, and I'm going to support those guys all the way to training camp next year. All the way. Win or lose. This has been a winning season. Pardon me, guys, for eating, but I had to get started. So let's get at it. I got a little small piece of sandwich left I might get at in a minute. Thanks. I'm a little late. I appreciate everybody for coming in. I see some Who Days. Happy Who Day Wednesday from Brenda Early. What's good? She let us know what day of the week it is. She keeps us on it. She's back employed, y'all. She's back with us. She's back. She has the job once again of informing us of what day of the week it is. Brenda Early is inspirational. She sends a message every day, positive message every day. And it says blessings to everyone and something else. I like the whole thing, but the first part is amazing to me. She blesses everyone, says have a great day to everybody. And, it takes energy to do that every day. It takes energy. And for someone to maybe be having a bad day, like me sometimes, when I see that, I'm super like charged up. Like, man, somebody out there want to keep it positive. So Brenda Early, thank you. Appreciate it. You inspire me. Days that I'm having really tough days, you're there and you say have a great day and all that. And it means a lot. I need that energy sometimes because the things that I talk, some of the people I talk to every day, they're not really about positive energy, nor do they care if you have positive energy or not. They don't care. So I want to thank you. It helps me get through the morning or whatever time of the day that I'm watching that or see your post. So I always shoot it with a heart. William Wendell William Higgins says, hey, sir, what's good? How you doing? Angela Kenny says, good grief. Yes, I got something. I want to kind of explain something that I've learned that we have to be careful of. Where's my drink? There it is. We have to be careful of certain trigger words. I said trigger words. When you hear people talk. I'll give you a perfect example. You all know once before I told you that I was bidding once before for a what's up, Sabrina Calloway is in the building. She says, what's happening, Wyatt-Live family, with the Who Day Hearts? Yes. Miss James comes in and says hello to everyone. She says, hey, everyone. We use these trigger words sometimes that excite us. Like minority-owned business. Minority-owned. And I want to try to express something to you guys today of why you can't get caught up in these words, such as minority ownership and things of that nature. I've been in some bidding battles with some minority companies that the minority companies didn't look like me. They didn't look like me. But they fit in the same classification as a minority-owned business. We're going to touch on that a little bit today. Because I got some information that's interesting that the city of Cincinnati, the residents may be interested in. We all know what's going on with the Macy's building. Well, I got a little information I'd like to share about that. I kind of do my research. I listen. I follow the money. I pay attention to who these minority companies are. I pay a little attention to that. And I pay attention to the people that boost it and talk about it and don't do their due diligence. See, there's a difference between a journalist and a reporter. A reporter just says what other people say. They use big words like allegedly. A journalist goes in and dig into a story to make sure that that people are on point and that it's some validity and it's true. Not everybody does that. I'm here to add a little light. I got a couple videos I want you to see how these projects in the city of Cincinnati have been handled and been presented to you. And I think there's no I'm mad at anybody to this. It's not me being angry. It's just some of the things that we need to pay attention to. This might be one of the reasons why we continue to feel like we're not part of certain projects and part of certain things. I mean, just people in general, people that argue about where are the minority contracts and things of that nature. Minority contracts are being filled. Victoria Prince says, hello, everyone. Minority contracts are being filled. I already know. Sabrina says, Mr. Controversy said, tell you he's in Facebook jail again. I think he might need a bail bond. Yeah, well, he stay in Facebook jail. I mean, he on vacation when he's out. He at home. Tell him I said that. He's at home. We got family members that's like that. They out here. They at home when they at the joint. They on vacation when they out here enjoying, this freedom. The freedom is vacation to them. I hate to say it, but we all got somebody in our family. We all got somebody in our family that spend more time in the joint than at the barbecues with us, at family functions, and at holidays. We all got somebody. Now, I mean, every family, that doesn't have a color. I don't know. I just know mine. I just know mine. We all got somebody that, stay in the joint. And they come home. They come vacationing every once in a while. We all got somebody. I really don't have a lot today. Yesterday I was smashed, crazy busy, and there was no way I was going to get this thing started. There was no way. If I would have got started, it would have been 10 minutes before we were even supposed to start getting on the air, okay? I had my mind twisted. I had a lot going on, and I probably would have cussed some people out yesterday if I had to have anything to say. I would not have been productive. I would not have been productive, let's just say. I would have probably shown a whole nother side of me. I guarantee you. Thank you, Victoria. She says, love the Bengal gear. I'm all in Bengal spirit right now. I'm not really a band owner. I mean, I've been cheering for the Bengals since I was a little boy, and we would play football outside, and I wanted to be Pete Johnson, or I wanted to be, Isaac Curtis. And then we got a little older, and then I wanted to be, I don't know, what's his name? Chris Collinsworth. See, kids don't play like we used to play back in the day. Do you ever, I don't know. I really don't know, but you don't see kids playing pickup games in the middle of the street anymore. You just don't see them playing football, tagging somebody, tearing somebody's shit out in the middle of the street. You don't see them playing football, running into the cars and the ball hitting somebody's window and all that. You just don't see that anymore. Shit, man, we played baseball up against the wall. Somebody always came outside and said, I don't want to hear that ball hitting my window, my glass, my window. I hear that door, blah, blah, blah. There's always bitching because we was out there having fun. Where are the kids today? They all playing video games? I don't know. What's up, Miss Williams? She says, hello, Wyatt family. What's good with everybody? Like I said, I don't have much today, but I think the little bit that I have might be powerful enough to float through your veins and get you a little high. Might get you a little high, what them old DJs used to say back in the day. And the Highs and the Blaze brothers and the C's brothers, and I'm going to touch you with something special. Yeah, we got to learn the real meaning of these minority deals. Oh, they love saying that word. They love saying that word. Minority contracts. Do you know how many minority contracts I've bidded against? I'm a minority, but I've been in that fight my whole life. And as soon as I bring it up to some people, when I need chaos agents on my side, they're nowhere to be found because, damn, he might be right when he's talking about this shit. Well, I got another one for you today. And smoking weed, she said. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and smoking weed. That's what they doing. They doing it at a much younger age than we did when we were children. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to give you my real piece of truth. Some of y'all might be shocked. But I think I was 16 years old when I smoked my first puff of a joint. 16. I was 16 years old, and I still remember it to this day. I hit the joint, and it didn't do nothing to me. You know, I thought I was about to be on cloud nine. Never smoked weed before, but it's been a lot of weed around me. And I hit the joint. I probably shouldn't be saying this. Where's my parental advisory? I should probably have that up right now when I say this type of shit, right? There it is. Let's put that back up in the sky for everybody. So I hit the joint for the first time at 16, and I'm thinking I'm about to be high. I don't know nothing about getting high, okay? I know, yes, for y'all that think that every little black child from the hood starts smoking and doing dope and shit at the age of 7, you're wrong. Yeah, I smoked a puff when I was 16 years old, and it didn't do shit to me for the first 3 minutes. All right? After that first 3 minutes, shit got different for me in my life. I was like, and I knew right then and then, this ain't for me. I decided to do something different with weed. If you ain't smoking it, you doing something else with it. I chose that. Yeah, I'm not proud, but I admit it. I think the time is up where I can get in trouble for all that shit, right? I can't get arrested. Make sure the door locked. I'm just playing. But I did indulge in some things when I was a younger man. I was 16 years old. I smoked weed for the very first time. We were in the apartment or whatever, one of my friends' house, and I smoked because they were smoking. That's kind of odd for me because I was never a follower. But for some odd reason, I wanted to try it one time. And at 16 years old, I didn't know any better. Then I got real crazy. I was in Europe. Okay, here's a true story for you before we get to topic. I was in Europe, and guess what your boy smoked one time? If you say crack, get off my page. If you ever think I was dumb enough to watch fiends run around the neighborhood and then go try the shit because I thought it looked fun what they was doing, playing dope fiend hopscotch and dope fiend chase the dope man games and shit, you think that I would do that? You're crazy. She said, Sabrina Calloway says, what? Not you? Yeah, I smoked. I didn't even smoke a whole joint. I took a puff just to be cool. I inhaled the shit. I ain't gonna lie, I did. Victoria Prince says minorities are not majority. Okay. Miss Williams says you didn't inhale. I did. I ain't gonna lie. I probably inhaled too much. Here's my next dumbass thing that I did, and it was a few years later. I was about 17. I was a senior in high school. I was in high school, and I was in Europe. Okay, yeah. For those who don't know, I graduated in Europe. With a crazy ass school. Big ups to Hanau. Big ups to Hanau. I ain't mad at him. You did me wrong, but that's okay. I'll explain the Hanau story, me graduating, and how I got my diploma, high school diploma. The next level was different. Everything was gravy. But my high school diploma, that's a whole different story. In Europe, there was this thing that we smoked instead of weed. It was this thing that they smoked. I should say they, because I did try it, just like I did the weed at 16. I was about 17 when I tried this thing called hash. Has anybody ever heard of that? Has anybody ever heard of hash? Thank God it wasn't European crack. Thank God it wasn't some shit that could have really sent your boy like angel dust or something, because I had not a clue. I just knew that it was like weed. I did my research, though. I did my research. I made sure that it wasn't some shit that'll make you jump off a bridge. I did do that. And it wasn't. So I tried it. It looks like, I don't know how many of you have ever seen what they call hash. It's hashi. And it's like a lot of Africans smoke it. And I tried it. You put it in a pipe or whatever, and it's just like weed. But it looks like a Twix bar. Yeah, it looks like a Twix bar, at least the way I seen it. It looks like a Twix bar, like you break it off like Twix and you smoke it. And it's weird because I've been an athlete of sports my whole life. I never thought that I would even try a drug. But when you are around certain people and certain friends, that influence can be a bad boy. And I tried it because I knew it wasn't some addictive drug. I've never done cocaine. I never done any of that. Never tried it. Can't say I haven't been around it. I've been around a lot of it, but I never indulged in that. And but hash I did and weed I tried. Okay, and that was just a simple puff from both of them. And they never really had that type of effect on me where I felt like I had to go back or I needed it in my life. So that's a little private of me since I'm sitting on the couch today, since I'm giving you my business and wrapping up what I do. A little bit of personal on me. Some of you still smoking shit. Some of you still smoking shit, so don't be judging me. All right, so listen. I've been hearing some stories. I've been hearing some stories on the air, on the radio, and all this other stuff, and on television. And I've been seeing things like the road rage case that went on in Cincinnati. Drop Squad 52 from California said, "What up, Wyatt-Live? What's good?" Victoria Prince says, "Thank God you didn't take it further. It was never gonna go further. It would have had to be some shit that just, it would have had to been crack." And to be honest with you, I actually seen people in my lifetime when crack in the 90s, when it was an epidemic, they never call it that, but when crack was a problem, I seen guys smoke crack and never do it again. I mean, I thought crack was like some shit that once you smoke it, that you was a dope fiend for the rest of your life. I was ignorant. I was a young man. I mean, it was so dangerous. I'm glad it was as dangerous as it was because the danger scared me. The shit I was watching people do in the 90s to get crack, from what females would do, it was horrific. It was horrible. And I used to get a little angry at some of my colleagues who would, and I say colleagues because we were indulging in different things, but I never went as far as selling something as poisonous as crack. I got a story. If you don't mind, can I tell you a true story about that? God damn, I really was never gonna do this. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do this story right now, but I'm gonna give it my best. This is a story that always makes me feel horrible on the inside. I was in the streets and I did do that at one time. And if it wasn't for God, trust me, if it wasn't for God in my life, and I'm not like some super duper Christian, I just know where blessings come from. If it wasn't for God, I would probably be in jail and doing some other things. But I had a situation where my brother and I have a brother from my father. My father had multiple kids and we're brothers, we're blood brothers, but we didn't grow up, together in the same household. And y'all know how it is. Papa was a Rolling Stone type shit. You know what I mean? My brother and I eloped up. We had a nice certain situation going on, and we were able to get a product. And if anybody knows, up in Walnut Hills is where we went. Remember the club King of Clubs? Wasn't it called King of Clubs up on the corner? Can somebody tell me what corner that was? It's been many, many moons. I can't remember it all. But up there at King of Clubs, let me see. Hold on one second. I'm gonna take this. Drop says, "What up, Wyatt-Live? Biden just got a chance to get back to the black Supreme Court Justice Breyers will retire this year. Black female justice. Will it work? Black voters matter. We'll see. We'll see." I'm not really proud of this little bitty short story, and then I'll get into what I'm doing. I just want to let you know that I am aware that there is really somebody that looks out. That's a higher power, and this is not one I'm gonna go down in the record books as being proud of myself on. But my brother and I'm gonna make it Gilbert Avenue, Lincoln and Gilbert. Somebody said Lincoln and Gilbert. Okay, up by King and Clubs. Y'all know where I'm talking about. My brother and I had a high rise back there. It ain't no Nino Brown type shit, but it was on that level. But behind King of Clubs, there was a small little apartment complex. And my brother knew about this place, full of potential and full of dope fiends. So we decided that was going to be our mark. That was going to be our spot. And I lived with my grandmother at this time across the street over on Beecher, where the little boy got shot last week, shot and killed. I lived on Beecher with my grandmother. And my brother and I was able to get this, what we needed to be able to supply this building. And we worked it, and this was in the wintertime. And, this is where I need Pastor Nick, man. This is where I need Pastor Nick. This is why I have issues as an individual, because I have these type of stories that really mean so much to me. And I know my life could have been different. But long story short, here's what happened. We were in there cranking easily, $1,000 here. It was amazing how the money was coming in. And this one particular lady kept coming in. Now, keep in mind, it's wintertime. And in the wintertime, everybody, especially dolphins, everybody had their coats on and blah, blah, blah. And this one particular lady kept bringing us customers. Customer after customer, new face after new face. And I'm like, damn. And we would hook her up for bringing people. Okay? And one of the worst times of my life is when I thought it was at its best. My grandmother told me, she said, before you leave, I want you to know I want you in here at a reasonable hour. Now, I was about 14, 15. And it was a Saturday night. My grandmother told me, God bless my grandmother, always been there for me. My grandmother told me, she said, Rand, I want you in here early tonight, no later than midnight, because we going to church tomorrow. We going to Inspirational Baptist Church over in Walnut Hills, across the bridge. And I said, okay, Granny, whatever my grandmother said and whatever she wanted from me, I always wanted to live up to that and be that. So I said, I won't be late. I'll come in tonight. We'll go to church tomorrow. So I get over to the building, me and my brother cranking, and we doing what we do. Y'all know how that go, right? It gets late. It's getting late. It's already 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. And I'm like, yo, bro, we got to, re-up. We got to do what we do. And that one particular lady kept coming in and bringing new people. Some of you are probably already thinking she set me up, right? That she was the police, right? Well, she wasn't. She was the best client, best customer that we had. And she kept bringing people. All right. Well, finally it gets a little later and later and later. And then she brings some more people, and we're running out. And it's getting closer to midnight. It's a 10-minute walk from my house to where we were serving. And finally, I say to my brother, look, man, I got to go, bro. You going to stay here all night? You going to hold it down? What you going to do? He was like, yeah, I'm going to be here. I'm staying all night if we have to. She keep bringing licks. I'm going to be here. Don't worry. I got it. I said, okay. So the lady comes in with some more people. Everybody stopped. She takes her coat off. Now, she's been smoking with them. She's been smoking dope with these people. Like I said, this is not my proudest moment of my life, but you have to recognize certain signs of what's going on to really see what's really going on. And this particular lady, it was a sister. She takes her coat off and she's pregnant. I'm talking about big pregnant. And it crushed me. It crushed me. I couldn't believe what I had seen. That this lady all night been running in and out of here with all these dope fiends, and she's trying to get drugs for herself. She's supporting a habit, and I'm supplying it. Like I said, this isn't my proudest moment, but it was a teachable moment for me. And this lady took her coat off and she was pregnant. Now, if you think this shit is crazy, you ain't heard where God kicked in yet. That crushed me. It took me almost 30 minutes to get home because I was crying. I cried walking home. That 10-minute walk was 30 minutes. When I got to the house, my grandmother was already asleep, thank God. So I went in my room and I got ready, to go to bed. And when I woke up the next day, I had to go to church. And I went to church with my grandmother. We sat, I keep telling y'all that in our church, families always sit in the same spot. So we sat in our one spot that we always sat in. And we had guests that day. And you know how the church bring in women's groups, abused women groups, and, I don't know, Alcoholic Anonymous, and they may sit in the front, and, they're at their group homes, and they bring them in, and they let them be part of the church family. Well, I sat there, and I listened to the preacher talk, and we had special guests sitting in the front, right in front of the preacher. And you will never guess the group that came in that day was women who had drug addiction. Some that were currently battling drug addiction, and some that had already beat it and was supporting those that were sitting there. And on my grandmother's grave, this story that I'm telling you, you couldn't make this shit up. I'm sitting in the church. My grandmother's sitting to the side of me, and I'm listening to the preacher preach. And when he announces the women's group that's in, and there are drug addicts and recovering drug addicts and those that are fighting drugs, I look over there, and I be damned if it wasn't the woman that had been in the dope house all night bringing people, the pregnant woman. She seen me and I seen her, and I have never, it was almost like a man getting caught cheating on his wife, and y'all know that look, that deer in the head, like, or vice versa, a woman getting cheated. I felt as low as you could possibly feel. She looked at me like, what you doing here? I looked at her like, what you doing here? And we looked at each other, and we was both ashamed. I know I was. That was the beginning and the end of my career in that industry. Because God couldn't have put that and structured that for me any other way. He couldn't have done that. He put that lady in front of me in my own church that I grew up in and let me know this shit is not for you. You felt like shit when you was walking home last night, and I'm going to put her in your face once again. You in here like you some holy dude. You in this church like you really hear me. I ain't gonna say shit to you, Randy. I'm gonna show you. Now keep in mind, I probably don't know 3 Bible verses. Thou shalt not kill and shit like that. Like, I know those, but I'm not like a Bible thumper. I'm not even close to it. But I'm far from stupid. I recognize message. I recognize message. And I'm going to tell you something. God put that woman in my life because he wanted me to change. Sometimes he uses people. I know y'all think I'm preaching and shit, but there's no other way for me to say this thing. He uses people to make you pay attention. How else would I even know? I wouldn't even know how to say this shit. Like, some people would be laughing. Oh, that bitch, when she was in church, oh, she a dope fan. No, I got a different message. Because I know deep down inside in my gut, I know how crushed I was the night before just to see this pregnant woman in the dope house. Killed me going home. God, you did enough at that point. You did enough. I might not have gone back. But what you did, you reinforced me feeling like a failure. The first thing came to my mind is, how can I poison a sister like that? And then I'm poisoning a baby. That's what was going through my mind. And God, who some think has a sense of humor, he really gave it to me the next day. Because all I could think of, she about to jump up in the church and say, he sell dope, he a dope deal. I thought she was going to do something. And in her mind, she probably thinking the same thing I'm thinking. She's sitting over there with the goody two shoes talking about we been dope free for 30 days, 60 days, 20 days, 2 days, whatever. She can't say none of that shit because hours ago you was sitting in the dope house. So she had to fear that I was going to stand up and say something. Now, what the hell was I going to stand up and say? I was serving her last night. What's she doing here in the front row? I swear I was never going to share that story, but, I had to tell that story to someone for them to understand. For me to understand how powerful it truly is. See, some things we all got something that's powerful. We just don't know how powerful it is until you share it with someone. We take things for granted that are normal for us. And I thought I would share that because I'm very hard on myself for those times. I'm very hard on myself for what I did to that lady. I didn't force her to do anything. But God showed me that night, this ain't for you. You feel too bad for what you're doing. I was broke up when I was going home that night. Broke up. Crystal Wellwright is in the building. She says, who they? Good evening, Wyatt-Live family and friends. Crystal, I'm glad you're here because I seen a post as I was getting on the air, which it took everybody about 4 minutes and 15 seconds to get logged in. And I'm wondering why it took people so long. So on the rerun tonight, or whenever people want to look at the rerun, people are going to wonder, where the hell is he? Where the hell is he and what's going on? Well, we got started a little late. Let me see. Here's one. I got something for you, Crystal. Don't leave because you put a post up. I want to address it real fast. I didn't want to make it my story for the day, or I didn't want to make it the conversation, but I want to kind of bring it up a little bit. Troy Embers says, new listener. I caught a few of your previous conversations, digging your flow and conversation. Appreciate you sharing that story. Powerful. Thank you, Troy. Listen, I'm embarrassed of it. But what I've learned in life is sometimes I have to be transparent and open and free with people for people to understand why I say what I say sometimes, why I feel the way I feel, because we all have choices. And when I say things sometimes, it's coming from probably a perspective of being there. And it's not me trying to dog somebody. It's like I know the choices we have. I know the shit that we've seen people, as I know what dope fiends went through. And I know how selfish we can be to wear nice clothes when you're taking food off of somebody's table. I know those type of feelings. It's just God took me to a different place. He made it hard for me. Now, the reason why I brought up somebody that I dearly love, which is Pastor Nick, is he's from the same stomping grounds that I'm from. I don't want to put Nick's business out there, but everybody know where Nick is from. Our whole age group, we all grew up in the courts. We all stepped into the same arena. Maybe he'll come on and we'll have a discussion, but y'all know where Pastor Nick has been. I love him as an individual for what he has created himself to be. I'm just being honest with you. But I need people like him in my life so I can validate those, I can kind of say those bad times were times that, hey, we can look past that shit. We didn't know any better, but we did. We knew better. It was just a matter of correcting yourself. We know when we doing something wrong. We know when we doing something bad. We have to assess the risk, right? We assess the risk. And if the risk is worth it, damn it, we keep going. And most of the time we think the risk is worth it and we continue to go. But I need some of my people to stop looking at the risk factor and look at the conscious factor. What's all involved here? Who are we truly hurting? It's not just selfish of you to say I'm willing to do some shit to go to jail for. When in fact, when you go to jail, you're not going to jail by yourself. When you go to jail, you're taking your family with you. They may not be in solitary. They may not be in cell block D and all that shit with you. But psychologically and mentally, they are in jail with you. They worry. Your family members worry about you. And it's not fair. We are very selfish individuals when it comes down to doing what we do and the decisions that we make. I never thought in I never thought in my life I would share that story with anyone, but I think somebody needs to hear it. I think it's something that needs to be heard because there's some shit that you done did in your life that somebody probably didn't get anything out of this, but there's somebody that maybe no one that I just talked to and heard my story. Maybe you didn't get anything out of it, but you got a story that now you can share with someone that might get something out of it. I used to think I had a boring life. I used to think that nobody would be interested in the shit that I've done and seen and all that old shit. I could never write a book or no shit like that. I used to think that until I start opening up and having conversations with people, once I got to know them. And they would say things like, you interesting. You done did some shit. And I get the same thing from them. I listen to the things that they have done and I'm like, wow, bro, you been there. You done some shit. We just got to open up with each other some. But we got to learn to trust and learn to love and be a little bit more compassionate and be there for each other. And I think I get a little harsh on my delivery sometimes. I think my perspective and my angle of how I'm trying to correct things about how people doing shit sometimes, it get a little misconstrued. And I think the reason why it gets a little misconstrued is because maybe I've been somewhere that they haven't been, and that might get, misinterpreted some kind of way. I'm going to take a call. I hope it's somebody that is not going to make me feel any worse than I already feel about this situation. Good evening, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
You were speaking with Sabrina Calloway. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Sabrina? That's Sabrina Calloway. It sounds like you're driving. Are you out in the streets?
I am. I'm driving. I'm on my way to gig number 2.
Oh, okay. Hey, get your money. Get your money.
Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm hustling. I ain't hustling.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. What's on your mind?
I ain't hustling. I don't call it hustling.
All right.
I call it just working it.
Just working it. Go ahead and get it. What's
I wanted to tell you something.
Go ahead.
I didn't know if you saw my message that I typed in when you were telling your story, but I wanted to tell you something that someone told me when I was about 19 years old, and I wasn't proud of a lot of the things that I had did in my life as a young girl, but they told me, they said, this is not who you are, this is just where you are. And that stuck with me at that time and throughout my life. And so, as long as you recognize what you was doing was wrong and you cleaned up your life and you moved forward, and that's not to say that we won't make mistakes throughout our life and do other things, but that we don't do things to try to harm other people, then God forgives us. And we have to remember to forgive ourselves.
True that.
So that was not who you were. And it shows. It shows in the way you live your life.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. But, maybe me doing this will let some other young brother, I know I'm not young, but maybe I held that in for many years. This happened when I was a damn near teenager. And, it's made me evil to a certain extent. You understand what I mean? Like when I see brothers and sisters, when I see us doing what I've been through and had a choice of doing or not to do, that's probably why I'm so critical of the decisions that we make sometimes, that they make sometimes, because I know the choice deep down inside. Now, it sounds a little selfish and maybe a little self-serving of me. I don't mean it that way. But you got to understand that there's some women that have been in abusive relationships and they don't go as far as some other women will in an abusive relationship. So they may not understand why a woman goes so much further than they did. And vice versa, a man as well. I don't know. It's just sometimes things hit you.
I understand that. What I'm realizing as time goes on is sometimes it takes a few of us a little longer for the light to come on.
Yeah.
We are in a real dark space sometimes, We all ain't blessed to have you know, parents who share and teach you things or whatever, I'm number 10 of 10.
Mm.
So my mother, she's probably tired by the time she got to me.
I understand. I
And
understand.
I had, a lot of brothers and sisters that were doing right, but some of them wasn't. And I could see what to do and what not to do.
I got you.
And then still make choices. I still make some bad choices, but it came out on the other end in a so much better way, so much blessed way that I was able to wake up. My light came on early. And, I was so thankful because once I had my children, I didn't have to live through that and have my children live through a lot of the misery of what we do to our children, being selfish and trying to hold on to some of the things that we do in our lives. That's what so many people, they are so into what they're doing that they forget they brought other human beings in the world and they don't deserve that.
Right. I understand.
So that's why, once I decided I wanted to be married and have children and, I changed my life. I said that's not the life that I want. It's not some of the things I was doing, which weren't bad, but they weren't bad. They weren't perfect. They weren't good.
I understand.
So I always remember, like my friend told me, that's not who I was. It was just where I was.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I feel that, as an older man, I get it now. I get it. I understand. But, when you're young and you're on your own and you're holding a lot in, you deal with things a little bit more. You deal with it different. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just, it felt really good to get that off my chest, to be honest with you. But at the same time, um, it plays a huge part in why I feel the way I feel and why I present certain things to the Wyatt-Live family, because of, sometimes you got to know a person and understand why they had a perspective or why they feel the way they feel about certain
Right.
things. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you guys don't know me, then it's hard for you to understand why I may feel the way I feel. It's easy to know somebody that's been through some things because of how they judge certain things.
Right.
But you got to kind of know the individual first. So I'm just getting the family an opportunity to learn why I'm so hard on drugs. And when it come down to talk about drugs being dropped in our neighborhoods and all that old shit, we still make choices of if we're going to indulge in those things. We still
Right.
have the ultimate decision to make. Is it right or is it wrong? And I just wanted to bring that up. What's good?
Yeah.
Anything else, Sabrina?
Might be behind.
No, I'm saying anything else?
That's all.
How's
That's
those?
it.
Hey, you got
Okay.
any
I'm
bingo
looking
mask?
forward to this game this weekend.
Yeah, you got any?
And
You got any Who Day mask?
yes,
What they running?
they running $10 a piece or 3 for $25.
3 for 25.
3 for $25.
Well, I got to be the brother and ask you to. Come on, can you hook a brother up? Can't you 3 for 25? Damn, why don't you just give me 4 for 25? Wait a minute, hold on. Give me 6 or 7 for
Wait a minute,
25.
you missed the holiday sale. That's over.
I'm just playing. Hey, the mask that I bought from you, I got one of those. I got one of those bingo masks. It's great. I love it. I should have had it on. If I would have known you were calling, I would have brought it. It's in the car though. I wear it when I'm wearing my bingo stuff. I wear it in Kroger's and all that old type of stuff when I'm out. When I'm in the natty doing what I'm doing, I wear that mask for the Bengals all season long. I've had that mask, so I appreciate it. Look for Sabrina Calloway.
I gotta check out some of your gear. I love the stuff that you're wearing.
Hey,
I like your gear, so I gotta see what you got for ladies.
Listen, let me just say this on the air. I know that you're committed to what you do. I think we need to try to run a collaboration. I think your mask company and some of the things that I might be able to bring to the table with my Who Day situation, who's to say we can't do a Who Day mask? Who can't? I mean, a collaboration of the Who Day collection with Sabrina, mask by Sabrina. Why not we do a collaboration?
Hey.
Sound good to me. Sound good to me. Shit, a deal was done on the air. All right, we'll get something worked out. Why don't we talk later, okay?
That'll work.
All right, Queen. Be cool.
Have a great evening, all right?
You too. Wait a minute, hold on. Can I get a Who Day?
Who Day?
There it is. Ooh, she had a little what is what's that? I want to say soprano, but sobrano to it. Added a little something. She is a Callaway, y'all. She was married to Reggie Calloway, one of the greatest songwriters that they don't talk about much. I wonder how it was living in that house. I wonder how it was to be like, ding, ding, ding. Y'all know we used to have house phones back in the day. And Sabrina go answer the phone and she'd be like, hey, Kenny. Hey, what's up? Yeah, he here, but yeah, I'm good. How's things with you? Oh, I'm good. Hey, that last album you wrote, that last album you had, Babyface, was the shit. Tell Tony Braxton I said what's up. Yeah, hell yeah. Tell him all I said was happening. Yeah, tell her that hairdo is rocking and that little miniskirt, she killing in Vogue with their ass. All right. Yeah, hold on, let me get him. Songwriters. I just couldn't imagine living in a house and you could talk to Babyface and you could talk to, all these people. Zap, Midnight Star. That had to be freaking cool. I talked to their ass, but I had to talk to the album cover. I could never say nothing to them directly. I had the posters and shit up and the album covers. Y'all know my mama used to use the album covers to squish her weed up and shit and roll joints. Y'all remember that move? She gonna kick my ass. She gonna be mad when I say this one. Stevie Wonder had weed on him all the time. Lord, don't let my mama be watching this one. Mama, don't watch this episode. Don't do it. Yeah, Stevie Wonder had weed on him. Damn it, the Zap, Roger Troutman, and all of them had weed on them. From when you're rolling that weed. Y'all know what I'm saying. Back in the day, y'all don't know this, but back in the day, you had to take the seeds out of the weed. They would serve you dirty weed. Y'all remember, y'all know what I'm talking about. They used to give you a nickel bag of weed, and it had $3 worth of seeds in it. That was bad weed. But that was the coolest shit, I thought. I was a child. I thought that was the coolest shit, sitting there watching them dump the weed on an album cover and breaking it up. And then, you rolling. You got to do this so the seeds will fall down and roll down. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This is a grown-ass show. Pull the weed up so the seeds will roll down. Do they still do that today? Because all I see is dudes just dumping shit in Phillies and shit and just dumping it. And then have a big ass joint and smoke it. It's as big as a freaking cigar. I seen a dude one time, and I'm off the dope. Okay, I'm off the dope after this comment. When I was getting out of the weed game, some of the biggest dope dealers was buying weed, okay, and they'll come buy an ounce. Now, this is when ounces was $100, $125. But I would serve this one dude, that one of the big boys that y'all know in the city of Cincinnati, because he was a weed head. And I give it to him for $100. Because he want 4 or 5 of them. Shit, that's half, I'm cool. Bet. Deal done. Take it. And this dude would take a whole half an ounce and smoke it in one Philly. Y'all gonna smoke that joint is $50. Y'all gonna smoke a $50 joint? They could put a half an ounce in a Philly. It was amazing. I knew it was a reason why I never smoked. Now, here's the thing, and I'm gonna get out of it. The reason why I never smoked weed after I tried it at 16, because I said it didn't really do anything for me. And I wanted to make profit. I wanted to make money over getting high. So, damn it. Honestly, I sold every seed and every fucking twig that was in the bag. The dust and everything. The shake, they call it. all of it was gone. I dump it. Hey, you want to buy some shake? It's $5. I didn't give a shit. I ain't nothing but 40. Chris. I'm telling my age. Chris says, a Philly, you're telling your age. What they using these days, Chris? What is it called now? Philly was the company, Philly brand, the Philly joint, Shit. Yeah, it was the 90s. Damn it, I know most people in these days ain't been, some of the people that I know today, the older I get, the more I see people born in 2000. And I'm like, God damn, I'm getting old. I'm not going to lie. Like when you filling some shit out on the computer and you got to put your credit card number in or whatever, or blank, 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 and then they want you to put your date of birth in there. Oh, shit, I'm not proud of this one. But sometimes you got to put your date of birth in. And I'm like 12, 6. And then some of you hit that wheel like on Price is Right at the end when you're trying to make $1 and you spin it. Some of y'all motherfuckers just have to hit it twice. I'm almost at the twice. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I get fucking tired of going down like this, strolling down. So I have to hit it like, and that's just too fucking old. That's just too old. That's too old. What's backwards these days? What am I missing? Somebody said that I can't smoke weed because it has me silly and hungry. TC says. Crystal says backwards. Oh, okay. Maybe that's the new shit. I don't know. OG Swishers. Okay. Oh man, yeah, I had to spin. I spin the thing. All right, so listen, let me get to something because we losing some folks, and they don't want to smoke. They don't want to talk about this weed shit. I get it. Don't nobody want to talk about the weed. I get it. There's something I do want to bring up though. There is something I want to bring up. There was a case going on right here in the city of Cincinnati. Recently, I was reading in the city of Cincinnati. I was reading that there was a road rage situation that just happened. And they have the road rage on audio. I guess it's the 911 call. One man is dead. Claims that the other guy jumped out of his car and ran to him, tried to pull him out because of some road rage stuff, and he ended up shooting and killing this individual. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and he's claiming, he hasn't been charged yet, he's claiming self-defense. Now, somebody came to his car, didn't have a weapon, from what I'm hearing, didn't have a weapon, didn't physically assault him with, he might have physically assaulted him, or he thought he was going to be physically assaulted, but he didn't have a weapon from my understanding. But then he ended up getting shot and killed him. Now the family of the man that's killed, that was shot and killed, is coming forward like, not our guy. He was a super duper dude. He was a lovely guy. He did this, he did that. Even the boyfriend, even the man's boyfriend got on the news the other day and was like, not my Earl. Earl wasn't like that. He ain't he ain't physical like that and all this old shit. So I'm like, okay, maybe not. And then, my cynical mind, I'm thinking something different now. I'm like, well, I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's not, maybe he's not all what they say. He's, all, physical. But I'm going back to what people were saying months ago. And that was this self-defense, what they call that shit, the hold your ground. The hold your ground gonna get a lot of action. They saying that the hold your ground gonna get a lot of action. Now, I remember hearing on some other platforms, on radio, on TV, and all this old shit, and I've heard it across the country on other platforms, and they say shit like, that hold your ground, it hit Ohio, and that's just so there's white folks can shoot black folks and be able to say they were standing their ground. Well, I ain't seen that happen yet. And I told you that it goes both ways. If a black man shoot a white dude, he can say he was standing his ground. It happens. Matter of fact, black dudes shoot black dudes and they get off on a murder charge because they use stand your ground. So know your history in that. Know some of the court cases that's going on right in Hamilton County. There's proof, there's receipts that it happens. But so far, I haven't seen any white men shooting black guys like the Aubrey case and be able to say it was self-defense or hold your ground or stand your ground. I ain't seen that yet. I'm still waiting on it, Chaos Agents, the one that said that that law that they're trying to do in Ohio is strictly so, and not strictly, that's me being a Chaos Agent saying it that way. I don't want to be like some, but saying that this is put in place so white guys can shoot black guys was ridiculous when I heard it the first time. Now, I told y'all back then I was going to remind you when stand your ground was going to start coming up amongst, other people. When they start using it on each other, it don't necessarily mean it's for them to be able to use it on us. And lo and behold, that's where we are today. There's been 2 cases so far. Now, I'm not saying that somebody ain't going to shoot a brother and they going to say, I feared for my life and it's stand your ground. I don't mean that's never, ever going to happen. I just don't like when Chaos Agents say that they specifically doing this to be able to just kill us and walk away. You use an isolated incident. You use an isolated incident 1,000 miles away, 500 miles, 250 miles away. That don't speak for the entire United States. It doesn't speak for everything that's happening in this world. Stop letting the isolated incident speak for everything. That's ridiculous to me. Y'all also said this. Remember this? Remember this? Oh, the feds then came into Cincinnati. They then came in Hamilton County, and they then said it on the news that they giving extra time on gun charges. They only doing that to lock brothers up. That's what the Chaos Agents said. You know that's meant for us. You know that's for us. Well, I don't know if anybody heard, but last time I checked, Hamilton County had a record high year in crime. In homicides. Most of those homicides, there were weapons used, and gun being the number one weapon to use in a homicide last year. So evidently, the threat or whatever you thought the feds was coming in here to do to brothers, it didn't work. Now, they are serving up, for y'all that don't know, the feds are serving up extra time on those charges, and I know I've had a couple clients that have already been victims of their own victimization. They victimized people, and now they're victims of a new situation. I don't feel sorry for some people that know the rules going in. You break the rule, and then you get extra. You get extra before you knew what you was doing. In other words, you knew that if you brandish this weapon, I'm going to get extra time. You knew it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let me just say this to you. Crystal Wilbright says Jared's funeral is this Saturday. Now, I respect Jared to death, but here's what I'm look at the dude who took Jared's life at Shell gas station. How many of y'all are even going to follow what happens to that man? Can y'all follow his case like we did the Aubrey case on the 3 white men? Can we please give it that same energy? Can we figure out what's going to happen to this man? Can we get some people writing some letters to the judge saying we don't need people like this on the streets? Do you know that brother actually tried to use self-defense when he chased the man down? Just the opposite of what's the little kid name? What's that little boy name? Rittenhouse. This was an exact opposite of what happened in the Rittenhouse trial. I know Chaos Agents couldn't wait for the little white boy to go to jail. But y'all ain't said shit about this brother who actually chased a good brother. A brother that helped kids, working the kids, helped kids off the street. Y'all ain't said shit about his killer. Black Lives Matter. Jared was black. I don't hear nothing about it but the day that it happened, and it was like, oh, tragedy. But I want to know how many of us really care what's going to happen to his shooter. Because guess what? His shooter is going to get Fed time on top of what he did, because the Fed guidelines, the $1.3 million that Hamilton County took, gave them the right to be able to include extra time. And I don't know if y'all know this or not, but that was a homicide. Yeah, it was classified as a homicide. So he's going to I can't look it up. I don't have my notes. But they're going to add extra federal time on top of his state sentence. Probably an additional 15 to 20 years. That man could do life in jail. He could do 25 years for one charge and another 25 years for the federal charge of the same thing. And no, it's not double dipping. I've heard some attorneys say some things like, well, that's kind of unconstitutional, because no, it's not. Federal, whenever you're using a gun that was manufactured in another state, the feds can come in and pick up the gun spec. Know your constitutions before we know that. Know the constitutional laws, what the federal government can do in transporting weapons across state lines. Know that before you challenge something that I say. But I guarantee you, Crystal said, hold on, I'm going to get to Crystal. Cleopatra Jones, what's up, sis? She says, lock the door and throw away the key. I'm just saying, and I'm with you. I double down on that shit. I double down on that, Cleopatra. Why we need brothers? Why do we need anybody on the street? Just like the dude on the road rage. If they find it to be something different, lock his ass up forever too. I don't want my daughter driving down the street and have a problem with this same dude, and he might not understand that she's only been driving for a year now, and maybe her swerving wasn't her being an asshole to him. Maybe you scared her, and you jumping out your car and acting all foolish and this stuff. Come on, man. We have children out here that got to deal with grown-ups. Our children have to deal with the mental and the mental illness of some people that look normal out here. And our kids may not even recognize somebody when they crazy. We hear, oh, he crazy. But no, there's some people that are mentally ill that actually look like everyday normal people. Crystal says, watch him take a plea. He probably will. He ain't gonna have a choice. But the plea ain't gonna be no good. He's still gonna do double. He gonna do double shifts in the penitentiary. You got to understand, the Fed's going to pick up the case. He murdered somebody in Hamilton County. Hamilton County has a deal with the federal government right now. $1.3 million, you got to get your payback off that they're going to pick up gun charges. And they give an extra time. B.O.B. is in the building. Notorious B.O.B.'s in the building. Salute Wyatt and Wyatt fam. Good to see you, brother. Wait a minute. Who say? She said, oh, they haven't caught him yet. Who you talking about? Who you talking about they haven't caught yet? They got the road rage guy. I mean, they haven't charged him with anything because of based on the audio, which that could change. The audio don't mean nothing. They still probably looking at, maybe somebody had a cell phone footage of it who kept going. And maybe they now contemplating coming forward with some video. That case can actually change. But you're right. Cleopatra just said something that I totally missed. Yeah, she said, Crystal said, right, either way, he's toast. Cleopatra just said something that's powerful that I totally slipped on that I forgot. She said, did or did not Joe Dieter say no more plea deals? He absolutely did. So, Crystal, you and I may have been wrong on that, actually, because Joe Dieters did bring to the Hamilton County audience that he was not taking any plea deal on gun charges. So this dude will probably do 60 years in jail. He'll probably end up doing, 25 on the gun on the murder from Hamilton County, and then what the Fed attaches to the charge. I don't know exactly what it'll be, but whatever it is, I don't know if it's going to be enough, quite frankly. That's just my opinion. Um, Let me see here. Miss Williams says, replying, thought he said no plea deals. Yeah, you're right. He did say. Yeah, he did say that. No plea deals. So he probably won't get a plea deal, according to Joe Dieters. I'm just tired of these dudes murdering our people out here and getting 10 years. And these guys are 17 and 18 years old. Now, for you that know, in the Wyatt-Live Messenger group, I did send something out in that group a few days ago. And in that group, in this video, it showed one of the head guys in charge of Michael Jordan's brand, Jordan brand, murdered somebody in the streets of Chicago when he was a young man. Who remember that clip? Maybe I'll bring that up one day. Maybe we'll talk about that. So I'm not saying that everybody that murders somebody can't rehab themselves. But I don't know. This particular brother who shot and killed somebody's father back in the day, I think it was in the 70s, shot an innocent brother who had a wife and kids. And he grew up knowing that. He went to jail, did his time, got out, ended up getting a degree. He got a GED in jail, and then he got a degree in jail, and then he went on to do some things and further his education and went to Temple and did some things and made it all the way to be able to talk and work for Michael Jordan side by side. A lot of people don't know this because a lot of y'all say things like Michael Jordan said Republicans wear tennis shoes too, and y'all can't let that shit go. I knew what he was talking about. But since he was like kind of going against the grain of things and wasn't being a public speaker in areas, I understand why you feel the way you do. I felt that way myself. But what I didn't know is how many black folks that Michael Jordan actually employed at a high corporate level of his company, Jumpman. I never knew. Not to mention he had a brother in there who was his accountant and a vice president. No, he was actually a president of his company. And Michael Jordan knew that this man killed somebody at a young age as a man. And Michael Jordan is the one who convinced him to come forward and tell his truth and tell his story and seek out the family of the victim. I mean, of the man that he killed. The family, the victim. The family came forward, they had a conversation, and what made Michael Jordan do that was the fact that when his dad got murdered, Michael Jordan had a conversation with this particular man that was working for him and said, you should tell your story out publicly. I'm a victim of losing a father to violence, not knowing the people who did it. And I think those people who are alive, his daughter and his wife, deserve to hear from you. I thought it was powerful. And he reached out. He did what Michael Jordan wanted him to do. He did it. He said it was hard for him to do, but he reached out to that family. And the wife of the man who was slain and killed back then, she said, if I had the strength, I would have reached over and slapped the shit out of him. I understand. But guess what we do as black folks? Guess what she said? She, bless her heart. Her and her daughter, his daughter, their child together, the one who passed, who was not around. She was actually pregnant when he was killed too. He didn't get a chance to see his daughter. So what she did, this man wrote a book. The one who killed their father wrote the book, didn't mention their names or didn't mention them at all in the book. They felt kind of salty about that. But at the end of the day, after them having conversation after conversation and being around each other and him adapting to them and being part of their family, so to speak, I don't know how that ever happened. This man got into their soul some kind of way and they forgave him. Powerful people out here. Sometimes people have to understand forgiveness is not forgiving people for what they did. Sometimes the forgiveness is for you. You walk around here mad and all this old shit about what somebody done did to you and you hold that anger in. It ain't no telling what you're going to do to the next individual because you're so mad about some shit that didn't happen to you before. Forgiveness is not always for the person that did you wrong. Forgiveness sometimes is for you. I've learned that. I had to learn that the hard way too. I also had to learn God is not going to punish certain people back. He's not going to punish them when you want him to punish them. He ain't going to punish them the way you want them to be punished. He going to punish them on his time, and it's going to be the way he want it to be done, whether you like it or not. And sometimes we take that punishment in our own hands and we find ourselves in jail, in the jail, in cell block D. Jumping the gun and fighting and doing shit. I told y'all one of the things. Let me tell you something. I heard a show. I think it was Brother Ivy. I think Nathan Ivy had. I think it was either him or Lincoln Ware. Great shows. Let me tell you what he said. He had the black lady on, the chief. She's not a chief. I'm sorry. She's a high-ranking black officer in the Cincinnati Police Department. And I'm pretty sure it was Nathan Ivy now that I say this, because I remember him putting a graph up. I happened to catch the show. He put a graph up, and in that graph it said, what are one of the biggest things that create problems out here? That ain't what it said, but it was, in layman's terms, it was asking, what's the number one reason? What are some of the reasons why people are so violent amongst each other? Very, very informative piece of work that he did. And it broke down what the police put out for people. And it said, one of the pieces said, one of the highest things was people arguing. She's a captain, Angela Kinney. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you, ma'am. He said people arguing and can't come up with an agreement on something, and it gets physical. And I keep telling y'all better stop whooping y'all kids' ass. You better stop whooping these kids, because that's the way they settling shit out here these days. Everybody talking about, oh, they acting the way they acting. They acting the way they acting because don't nobody get no ass whoopings no more. It don't take ass whoopings to raise kids. That's how we was raised. Some of us turned out all right, but the ones that was getting ass whoopings is probably still whooping kids' ass. Your kids get their ass whooped, and that's how they go out and handle their problems. I told my daughter the other day, she having a problem with a couple of the girls on her team. And, you know, when you raised a certain way, you deal with shit different. I ain't gonna lie, like, I couldn't deal with the shit she dealing with right now. We just dealt with shit different. We had somebody on our team that wasn't right or was trying to do some crazy shit. We'd find a way to talk them out of quitting. We'd make them quit. You know, we tease them a lot and do that. But she has a problem with two little girls on her team that don't quite look like her. And they just move different. She's not really custom because she know that I didn't raise her to fight. And see, she looked at me 10 karat crazy the other day because she came home with a story, and I'm looking at her and I'm like, my baby is hurting. What the fuck? What they doing to my baby? I'm about to go up there. Then I thought about it. I said, okay, teachable moment. And after she told me everything that they doing and manipulating and all this old shit, I'm like, okay, the next time that little bitch touch you, you smack her in her mouth. And I'm like, that ain't what I taught her as a person. Like, that's the shit we would do. But she don't know that way. Because I didn't raise whooping her and throwing her and shit up against the wall and, you know, calling maintenance because I got a hole in the wall and shit because I didn't discipline my child. You know, I ain't about to do all that. So she looked at me crazy because I did kind of explode. And I said, she said, what do you? They did what? Oh, I tell you what, Trinity. Next time that little girl do that shit, you need to smack her in her head. She looked at me like I was 10 karat crazy. You can say that. Can you type that again, Angela Kinney? These mini Karens. My baby dealing with that shit out here. So it looked ridiculous when I gave her my route. Because I didn't have these conversations with her many times in the way that I told her to deal with it. It ain't working, y'all. It's not working. So now I'm going to the 1335 John Street kind of way of doing shit. And I'm like, hey, okay, the next time she do that shit and she say that shit amongst everybody, you got to front on her ass. You got to front. You got to just go off on her ass and tell her how it is. Let her know. Keep your hands to yourself, but let her know. I don't know, these people, man. All right, so listen. I just got a feeling that when we raise our kids a certain way and we teaching them and we whooping them, hitting them and doing all this old shit, they see that as a means of handling their problems. I ain't saying that I'm right. This is just an opinion. This is just my opinion. I'm not saying that it's right, but I do know that a lot of people out here in the middle of the street fighting and shit. I see it on, y'all be sending the clips. Why are two African American queens, and I said it, Mr. Controversy, our black women are queens. I don't care what position they in, they just don't know any better. You grow. Our queens are in the middle of the street fighting. All the way down to the underwear, and when the underwear is gone, they still fighting. I don't like seeing shit like that. I hate it. Somebody put a video up the other day. They was fighting and went in tears. Somebody got hit in the back of the head with a damn baseball bat and caught the shit on video. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. All right, let me jump to something real fast. How much time do I have? Oh, I got 30 minutes. I think I can get this in 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure I can get it in 10, 15 minutes, as long as I don't get sidetracked. This is something that is very important. I know a couple people just said they'll be back. They'll have to catch it on the rerun. But this is important to me. I want to show a story. Okay, I want to show this little news clip that came on. People have been talking about this, but I want us to have a better understanding of what minority companies are, because that word seems to be used a lot. It's used a lot, and then when you hear it, you think shit different. You think it's fair. Okay? So now it's time to get off our youth. I got it. I know. I started it. I opened the can to whoop ass on our babies and shit. Okay? But now I want us as adults to soak this in so we can pass this type of information on to our youth. Because one of the things I've learned as a businessman is I find myself competing against minority companies. Yes, I've gone into companies, I've bidded on projects, on situations, and I was asked, are you registered as a minority company? For a couple years, I was not. Then I found myself in a position saying, yes, I am. I want to be. And then I had to go register as a minority company. I did that for a reason, because they had programs for minority companies to bid. And the reason why I did that is because if that minority number is not reached each year, they feel like, well, what's the point in having minority programs if minorities are not going to apply? So not only do I go in thinking, okay, I have an opportunity as a minority-owned company to maybe get this contract, I feel, I don't know if this is a little, I don't know, self-serving or whatever, but I feel like I'm doing a service as well, because I'm applying as a minority company, which helps show that there's interest and that there's companies that are applying that are minority-owned companies. I am truly a minority-owned company. I'm an African-American male, but I don't find myself competing against minority African-American or, female or males. No. Minority means a whole lot of different shit, whether y'all know it or not. I'm going to show you this picture here. And now I was going to do it the other way, but I'm going to work it backwards. Here's a company right here. Let me take that word off the screen there so y'all can truly see what I'm talking about. So you guys will know. Hold on one second. Let me take that comment down. But while that's going, you'll at least be able to see. Yes, Angela Kinney says, white women, veterans, and others are qualifying classes of minority-owned companies. Well, I don't know if you all can see this clearly or not, but I see Chris Bratz and Brady Sheeran. Chris Bratz is the principal at Vortex LLC. Does he look like a minority to you? A director of construction and development is not necessarily the owner. Principal is an owner. Okay, principal is the new fancy way of saying owner or CEO. Okay, so my question to you is, Do either one of these men, let me see if I have a better shot. I'm pretty sure I do. There's Chris Pratt, principal at Victrex LLC. They have a total of 3. They fall under the classification of 1 to 10 employees. When I did my research, they had 3 employees that were considered corporate positions, corporate spots. All right, I'm going to leave that picture there for one moment because I want you all to be able to do your homework. Angela Kinney seems to want to jump the gun on some things. She says, the developer of the downtown housing is minority owned because he's Middle Eastern or something similar, I believe. Bingo. But when we listen to this and you see your city council here redo this whole commercial, not necessarily a commercial, but when they present it to the city of Cincinnati, let me show you. Let me go to this one first. I did the wrong one. I'm going to bring up this video that they put out last year. Last year. Here's the video about the new Macy's project downtown Cincinnati. A lot of people don't want to hear about this shit, but I'm making a point, damn it. I'm making a point. I'm going to make a point about this one. Here's the video of the new project. All right? It's only a minute and a half long. Listen to what they're going to do to the Macy's building.
Former Macy's headquarters is right in the heart of downtown, and adding more housing in this location means more people in walking distance of the stores and restaurants in the area. And John Young with Urban Fast Forward says that would have quite the impact on the future of the city.
So having people living downtown means that we're keeping tax revenue in local stores downtown. Having people being within a walking, biking or transit kind of distance from things helps reduce car usage.
Which he says helps the environment, but also keeps spending in our local economy. The New York-based developer Victrex LLC is proposing a $73 million redevelopment of the building into 338 residential units with amenities, an outdoor terrace, and a parking garage. Young says more housing is needed downtown.
The firm was part of a study back in 2012 with the city of Cincinnati, and at the time they found that the downtown had a demand over 5,000 units. Since that study, which was done 9 years ago at this point, we are still under 5,000 units.
But COVID has changed things. Many people are continuing to work from home instead of returning to downtown offices.
Especially now with during the day, not all the employees are back. I know a lot of the downtown restaurants are kind of struggling with that. But if you have people who are already living there, accessing the restaurants on a daily basis, I mean, that's going to be a great benefit for them.
As far as next steps, the city's planning commission will review the proposal at its next meeting on November 5th. Reporting from downtown Cincinnati, Taylor Nimmo, WCPO 9 News.
Taylor, thank you. We do have a closer look for you at what the project will include. In addition to those 338 residential units, the project will have 394 parking spaces in an attached garage.
And 19,000 square foot outdoor terrace space. Macy's closed its headquarters, you may recall, there earlier last year. Now, as part of this deal, the developer wants Macy's to transfer the property to the city of Cincinnati, and the city would then transfer it to the Victrex LLC company. That would allow tax increment financing, or TIF, which would require the city be in the chain of the title of the property here. TIFs are often used to pay off bonds issued to finance projects. The staff of the city's planning commission is recommending the planning commission approve this deal.
Okay, I got a question for everyone. I have a small question for those that may know. Angela Kinney, you seem to be up on this. Quick question. Does the city of Cincinnati already own the Macy's building? And if so, how much did they pay for it? How much did the city of Cincinnati, pay for the Macy's building? Just curious to know. Because what this new contractor is coming in, what this developer is coming in saying is they want the city of Cincinnati to take ownership of the building and then give it to them so it'll fall under the TIF situation. I get it. Listen, first of all, let me say this to you. I'm not opposed to the project. This is how I think. I'm a capitalist. I believe in capitalism. I believe in things like this. But I need my Sir, I need my chaos agents to hear me on this. Because this is the shit that I told you. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm still going to say it. These deals were going to hit the new city council sooner and later. I see no difference in how they going to do shit than how the last one did it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's their job to make money. It's their job to produce income for the city. So that means they're going to bring in big conglomerate companies to come in and do big projects and bring people to the city. Now, y'all know if this was the last administration, the last city council, there would be so many people yelling and screaming about, but what about affordable housing? And they just told you the cheapest thing in there going to be $1,300 a month for a little bitty ass flat. An efficiency. Now, the reason why I showed that video is because that video right there is from the last administration that was in there. Let me tell you how things change when you get new people in front of you and they make conversation. They change words. They say shit like minority-owned company because now you stay focused off of affordable housing, I guess. You stay off of affordable housing and you're like, oh, well, it's a minority contractor coming in. There's a minority contractor coming in. We at least getting a piece of the puzzle, piece of the pie. We getting some of that shit. No, we're not. These developers are coming from New York City, and your minority-owned company are these guys. They're these guys right here. Whether you know it or not, whether you happy about it or not, it's these guys right here. Okay? And I don't want to hear nobody see this is, here go your CEO. I'm sorry. Your principal. Oh, there's clever to my madness right now. See, we get caught up in these trigger words of minority contractor. Oh, y'all ain't heard that yet. Nobody said anything unless you watched the news today or you heard it on another show or something. You've been fooled to think that you're getting a piece of this puzzle, a piece of this pie. You've been fooled. And the only reason why it don't matter to you at this point is because you think that minority contractors are going to do the work out of New York. What minority are we talking about? Because you got a predominantly Democrat, all Democrat city council who gave you a whole different, and I'm not saying they're guilty of it, but I'm sure somebody put a twist and a spin on it some kind of way. It would only make sense. It would only make sense. Let me show you the latest. Now, the video that I just showed you was the one that they did a year ago when the shit was up in the air. Now, what I want you to do is listen to today's version of the Macy's deal. I want you to listen to today's version of the Macy's deal, and you tell me if you don't get a different twist out of it. Hold on one second. Let me read a couple comments. I don't know who owns it. Okay, talking about the Macy's building. Angela Kinney says it'll be one of those under market rate sales. Well, maybe so. But it's still, you'll know what I'm talking about when you watch this new clip. They still making it seem like there's no investment by the city of Cincinnati, and there's no such thing as that. No developer is ever going to let a city come in and not pay something. It's ridiculous for you to be able to tell me to my face that the city is going to get all this work for free just for a tax abatement. That's not true. They're asking for the city to hand over the building so they can do their $300 million work and then get 30 years of tax abatements, and the last 5 years of it, that's when the money goes towards Cincinnati Public Schools. I don't have a problem with the deal. I just need y'all to wake up to how this shit really works. Stop using trigger words. Stop it. I don't have a problem with the deal. I'm one of those, if I was on city council, I'd be like, okay, shit, this is a great plan. We need more residents downtown paying those high-ass rents, so now they can get jobs in your Hamilton County, Cincinnati area, and we can grow our tax base. You have to invest in order to get a return. I have no problem with this deal, but I'm looking at how things have been presented to you to make you think it's such a great deal, and now we're moving up. And I told you this new city council was going to have to vote on some shit, and I said, I can't wait for them to have to vote on something where they put money over people, where they have to make the same decisions that last administration was making, and y'all, what y'all gonna say then? Who remember that? Who remember that? Yeah, Cleopatra do. Cleopatra said, you did call that out, Wyatt. You know I did. I said, wait till they make a decision where they have a big contractor come in and they got to use a tax abatement, and they're going to be in a position to spend some money, and they're not going to give a damn about affordable housing because they have to make money in order to support those other programs. Nobody remember that, do you? We don't remember that shit. Oh, yeah. Price says we've been hoodwinked and bamboozled. You ain't heard it yet. I just put the basics out there for you, bro. You ain't heard it yet. You ain't heard the new presentation. See, that was a year ago, the one I showed you. It didn't say shit about minority-owned company, minority-owned developer. It didn't have none of that shit in there, did it? It just simply said Vortrix LLC of New York is coming in, and they want to put a situation together with the old Macy's building, and it gave you more detail, right? Okay. All right, here we go. Let me read Angela. She says they'll have to subcontract to get a piece of that pie. They ain't gonna do it. They out of New York. Good luck. First of all, you got to have black contractors. You don't have to, but you would want in your agreement, if you're the city of Cincinnati, if you're the city council, you would want to make sure that a percentage of those deals, since we're talking minority-owned contractors, you want to make sure a percentage of those deals go to minority-owned true contractors. Now, I can't change the rules of what a minority contractor is. I can't change those rules. That's set in stone. Okay, you can't say a white lady or an Asian man can't apply to do the concrete on these projects. You can't do that. But see, that's where we lose touch. We need some, and I know, being in the bonding business, I know how many small construction companies we have in the Cincinnati area who look to get bonded for big projects like this, and it's way expensive, or they don't have the capital to be able to do a $1.5 million job. It's not that the opportunity is not there, it's that the capital that they need in order to make those jobs happen is not there. Angela Kinney says, shake my head, the old slick flash talking. You ain't heard shit yet. I want you to hear the new presentation of how this Macy's deal is going down. Listen, I am not against it. I'm not against it. I just need you to see how this bullshit be jumping sometime. I told y'all that when the new people come in, they gonna take credit for shit and put different spins on it, but they gonna do the same shit because they're obligated to make income for the city of Cincinnati, Hamilton County. And when you try to say one group of people bad because they make money, but the other group of people is not bad because they make the same kind of money, then you are being hoodwinked. You have been told that a group of people must be evil because all they want to do is make money. And I'm trying to tell you that you have to make money for all this shit to work. So what's the difference from the last administration even putting this out there for it being an option of the Macy's building, them putting it and structuring it and saying it's a great deal for the city of Cincinnati, and now this new administration that comes in has to make it, you got to put up in front. And you ain't even heard, if y'all stick with me, I swear to goodness, I'm going to make this shit real sweet for you. You might not like what I'm going to say about this one last piece, but I'm going to bring it up. I got to bring it up. Y'all seen the principle of this contract company, this minority-owned contract company, right? You've seen the principle. Research them. Pull them up for yourself. Pull them up for yourself. I don't have enough time in the day to go through all the shit I know about this company. But I can tell you this right now. I can tell you this now. Just look at how they did this presentation on the new one. Just look at how they did. What you say there, Cleopatra? I was going to say hoodwinked. I took them words out your mouth. Now, here's the news today on that same building, and you tell me, does it sound different? Does it sound inclusive? Don't it sound like there's inclusion for black folks? I ain't trying to be funny. I'm being honest. Like when I heard it, I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa, I know the history. I know this company. Like I know that name rings a bell. And at first I thought they said Vortex, which is a company in Florence, over in Kentucky somewhere, right next to Cincinnati. And I'm like, Vortex. And then I got the real name, and I'm like, I know them. I know of them. Pennsylvania grad. I know these people. They've done work on casinos. I know what they've done. And they're young. And let me show you what they did. You know, when you're trying to sell it as a minority-owned company, who do you put in to speak for the company? Who do you put in to make it seem like we're being included? I'm gonna stop it. Just watch the new one, and you tell me what you think. Watch this shit.
Macy's left town, and they have that huge building downtown on 7th Street, right? Well, they're going to try to repurpose that huge building.
That's right. And Kendall Hyde talked to some developers today to tell us what's in the works.
I had the chance to speak with the vice mayor, and she says that this big old apartment complex behind me will feature 336 different units, some studios, one-bedroom apartments, and even two.
We're talking upwards of tens and tens of millions of dollars in economic benefit. And the great thing about this deal is that the city has not invested any of our capital dollars into this deal.
The goal with the new living space is to revitalize the area and allow people to be within walking distance to many different stores and restaurants.
Which is great because it's right in the center of downtown. It's right across from Fountain Square.
The developers are Victrix LLC, a minority-owned developer from New York who will head the $73 million project.
And they specialize in converting vacant buildings into downtown housing units. And so that's their specialty.
City officials met with Victrix at Monday's city council meeting and are happy to announce that the new project will supply housing and help CPS in the long run. Kearney tells Fox 19 that nearly 33% of those total taxes that would have been going towards the project now go to CPS.
So that's $274,000 a year. That's almost maybe a little bit more than $8 million over the life of this project. And so we are really excited about supporting Cincinnati Public Schools.
With the new Macy's development, it has the ability to bring upwards of 500 new residents to the downtown community, therefore revitalizing a new influx of residents living downtown.
With so many different people moving in, they said it'll be a big task. So one thing that they are happy about is this will open up a lot of local jobs. So they say be on the lookout for local job fairs coming up in the few months. As far as when everything will open up, they said they don't know yet, but guess what? In the coming months, they will make an announcement. In downtown, Kendall Hyde, Fox 19 Now.
Okay. Y'all obviously seen what I seen there. I'm not telling y'all that this is a bad deal. I'm just saying that when other people do this same shit, chaos agents come out talking about those folks don't care about us. They don't care about black people. They don't care about affordable housing. Well, you got a brand new council down there that I am not having any, I'm not saying anything bad about it, but where's the smoke? Where's everybody's opinions about this big ass 300 and something? And why is it me? Hold on. Did you see what I seen? Where the hell? Where am I? Let me see something here. Did y'all see what I seen? Why did they have a brother on there talking? Why was he on there talking like he was the minority part of the group of Victrix? You ain't part of their program. You might be a spokesperson, but that ain't your group. That ain't your company, bro. And here's the craziest shit in the world, whether you've seen it or not. I'm looking for the picture because I what you call still framed one of the pictures and I can't find it. This nigga had a Black Trans Lives Matter sign in the back of him. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it like that. This brother had black trans. Can I let me see if I can find that part in it. Let me see if I can find that part in it. I can't let that be not seen and talked about. I cannot. I can't let that be seen and not be played.
Residents to the
You gotta
downtown
see. Do you
community.
see
Therefore,
this shit
invitalize-
here? Do you absolutely see this motherfucker got a Black Trans Lives Matter sign in his office? And he's not a minority owner of that company. He's not a minority owner. Come on, y'all. Stop it. He's sitting on his hands. He's a token face. He is to try to sell this project to us. Y'all know this shit crazy as hell. Where my chaos agent said, I need that same energy. I need that same pressure on this city council for this bullshit that they just staged up on us. I need that same energy. Because what you doing is you selling to our people. You trying to make us believe that this is a minority-owned company. That this is a minority-owned company that's coming in here to do this big-ass project, and they're minorities from New York. And this is what you give us right here. You put a brother on the TV screen, and okay, maybe I shouldn't have went off the way I went off, but it touched me. Touched by an angel. It touched me. Black Trans Lives Matter. See, this is part of a whole lot of other shit. I could talk about that for days. But I just want to stick to the part of where my chaos agents at when it come down. Why aren't people talking about this administration and how this is just them being capitalists and they don't care about the affordable housing and what the hell? Where they just that ain't nothing but for rich white folks down there. Where y'all at? You so easy to get. I see shit like this all day, every day, but you know how I am. I wait for the moment to come up so I can put it right in your face every time. Listen, I'm not one of those that have to pay anybody back. I don't do that. I don't pay people back. I just give you a plate of what you serve. I'm a tennis player. I love people that serve hard because I return to serve even harder. And when I see stories like this, and then I mean, yeah, council just started, but they didn't have to approve it. They don't have to vote on it and say yes. They don't have. Listen, what was different about today's presentation of putting minority-owned company up in there versus what it was a year ago when it was put on the table? Nobody said anything about it being a minority-owned company because it wasn't important. Why is it so important to know it's a minority-owned company now? It's not important to know that, right? It really isn't important to know. Because if it was true, listen, I can't explain the basic of this of what's going on here. It's very clear. It's very clear that you're using minority-owned company and putting a black guy on the screen to represent that it's good for black folks, that we're going to get a piece of the pie. This is a misrepresentation all day long. This is a misrepresentation, and it was us who's sliding it by us. It ain't them sliding it by us. It's us sliding it by us. You know why? Because at the end of the day, it's all about dollars and cents. It's all about capitalism. It's all about who's going to make the money. It's all about that. That's what it's all about. And I keep telling my folks who listen to my folks, that if they get an opportunity, look, you can pump fake loyalty. You can do all. You can pump fake loyalty all you want. But I'm going to tell you right now, for most people, loyalty is only as long as the next opportunity. That's it. That's it. Loyalty is only as good as the next opportunity. And you cannot tell me that what I'm telling you don't say. You can say I'm making it up. You can say I falsified all this shit that I'm looking up on the company. They're not black owned. They are minority owned. You can pretend that we wasn't just tried to be sold that this minority company out of New York is coming to Cincinnati to rehab a $300 and something million project, and you can't walk away feeling like we're not part of something. That's what they wanted you to feel like. They wanted you to feel like we was part of it. Now, come on now. I don't care what you say. I love the deal. So you can't say that I'm sitting here being biased or that I'm swerving one way or the other or that I'm being hard on city council and all that. No, because I'm a capitalist. I love making money. Get mad at me if you want to. I'm just showing you how easy people do you. How easy people sit there and make you seem like what other people are doing is wrong and they don't care about you. But when they do the same shit, they have to circle and do other things and use hidden mirrors and reflectors and shit like that to do the same dirt. And you know what they always use? Color. They always use minority this, Black Lives Matter that. And they pushing the same agenda. They trying to get ahead. It's like having a part-time job. They use the part-time job to save the money to be able to do what they really want to do in life. Anybody understand that analogy? What I'm saying is sometimes you just do what you have to do until you don't have to do, until you can do what you want to do. So I'm going to save my coins by doing this bullshit ass part-time job, and then I'm going to be able to I'm going to be able to do what I want to do. I'm gonna save my money so I can get to do what I really want to do. But right now at my part-time job, damn it, if I'm serving ice cream, I'm gonna be the best damn server. I don't care how much weight it put on people, how much diabetes it charge. If they willing to pay for this ice cream, I'm gonna get my part-time money. And I'm gonna get it until this shit is over with. And when I stack my money, I'm gonna move on and do what I really want to do. And that's how some people take these causes. That's how some people get in office. They say what they want to say. They say whatever you need to hear. And they get what they want out of the situation. And then when they get there, they stack their money and then they move on and do what they want to do. And if you can't see that this situation right here is a clear example of it, you'll never understand. You'll never get it. And maybe it's just not for you to get. But damn it, I am not going to be one to sit back and watch my people get pump faked by head fakes all the time. He's not going to shoot. It's going to be a pump fake. He's not going to shoot. Stop jumping. Because that's what's going on. Business is business. First of all, you can't incorporate all this shit that these people are talking about, this inclusion and all that old shit. There's not enough people in a position to even be included. I know that sound wrong. I know that sound bad. But this is what I've been telling you. Nobody's ever going to knock on your door and say, hey, we looking for black contractors. We looking for black folks that can do cement jobs. Folks, I'm telling you, if we don't position ourselves, I love my folks. Sometimes I just got to be brutal and say what I say. But I love my folks enough to be the black sheep of my own city and say what I say in my own city. To be able to tell you, Cincinnati is growing. We may not be growing with it because we're not in a position to grow with it. And at a certain point, you have to say, what do I need to do? Not what they need to do to make sure I'm included. What do I need to do to be included? What do I need to do to be included? What do I need to form? Damn it, if I want to, I love playing with flowers. I love planting flowers. Let me start a company where I'm in traffic. I'm in a line of fire where if they're putting flowers around that damn Macy's building after it's turned into a conglomerate or this big ass building that they're going to be renting shit for $4,000 a month, I want to be the guy that put all the flowers around the building and on every floor. I want to be the florist of that contract. I want to get the florist contract. But nobody's ever going to come find me and say, hey, you know anything about flowers? That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Have we had it bad? Yes. But do we have the know-how? Do we have, listen, Alicia Reese in the city of Cincinnati is unbelievable. She's giving information to you that a lot of people aren't ready for. You know why you're not ready? It's not that we don't understand it. It's because you're not in a situation to be able to capitalize on our information. Now all you can do is kind of sit back and just be like, damn. What did I tell you when Wyatt-Live first started in March of 2020? I said, start something right now with your name on it. Start a company right now, because in a year, there's going to be more money and more opportunity for us to be able to do what we want to do. And there'll be opportunity for you to be able to say, hey, I've done this. I have this experience. I've done that. I've done this and I've done that. You can't start something when it's just getting hot. That's not how they're going to do you. Then it's not going to work for you like that. Sorry, some people may not understand that. And I don't mean it to be like I'm not trying to be like nasty. I'm just being, I don't know any other way to deliver this. I don't know another way. All I'm telling you is a lot of the information that we are getting from people that are now in position. And first, let me say this before I sound like I'm dogging people. I'm not. It's not too late, folks. Some of you started a year ago, and look what you're doing. I got a friend of mine, PC. She started a janitorial service. Now she's a year in or whatever. I don't know. Let's just say a year in. Okay, now what happens if some of the people who want contracted cleaning service, if they need a cleaning service? Now she has what she started a year ago, a year track record. She ain't going knocking on the door saying, hey, I want to clean your houses or your building. I want this contract. And they say, well, give me your list of references. What have you been doing? Oh, well, I just started last week. And then somebody else come along and say something like, well, I've been in existence for 6 months. Chances are, with a little bit of referrals and references, that person with 6 months experience may have a head start on you. Yeah, okay, faith is nothing. You can't keep having faith in people if they're not putting forth effort. You can have as much faith as you want. But if you can have as much faith as you want. But if you don't put effort along with that faith, you just praying. That's all you're doing. You just praying to God. You praying and you know the old story. You know, I can't get into the Bible thing and all that old shit, but y'all know how we go. There's a whole lot of people that got a lot of faith. But if you don't put some effort behind that faith, it's nothing. Sorry. That ain't saying God ain't nothing, but God don't want you to just pray. He wants you to put some effort. Thank you, Sabrina. I just wanted y'all to see that comment. These are some of the comments that I deal with sometimes. I have more faith in black people. That's basically him telling me I don't have faith in my black people. This is somebody that I've been telling y'all for 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in March that we need to start doing something and get ahead of the game. But since I'm saying get ahead of the game and put our actions in place, I don't have faith in black people. I get it. I get it. I can make names of people who think like that, but I get it. I understand. You got to put some work with your faith. Faith without work is dead. That's what Sabrina says. Wait a minute. Davis is in the building. What's up, brother? Shalom, shalom. He says we have to gain confidence and maintain confidence and move upon. Thank you. Thank you. Stephanie High says God helps those who help themselves. Listen, I love everybody, regardless if you agree with what I'm saying or disagree with what I'm saying. I'm not trying to put anyone down. I'm just trying to put people in position. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like I told you, I only know. Yeah, Dave says, shalom, brother. I only know one way to bring it. I may not have the best diplomacy in my message. My message comes from experience. And I've never been able to capitalize on a deal by just sitting, waiting for it to happen. I've put my best foot forward. And then my prayer came afterwards. I put prayer in, took my best foot, gave it all I had, and then when I left, I gave more prayer. But I'm not going to just pray for something to happen for me, and I'm not in a position to receive it. I could pray all day to give me a contract down at at Procter & Gamble, a cleaning service. I could pray all day for that. And then if I get it, I got to go buy all this equipment. I got to go get me some damn cleaning solution and all that. I don't know shit about cleaning no buildings, but I prayed for it. I got to be in a position to receive it. I understand. I understand, brother. I wasn't trying to be funny. Listen, it wasn't a shot. I promise you, it wasn't a shot. It was a moment for me. It was a moment where when I hear somebody says, have faith, I say that faith is no good without effort. That's just how I feel. Now, Davis, who's a minister, may feel different about what I just said, but I can only give you me and my experience. I've never just sat back and prayed on something without giving it my best shot or my best effort first, and then ask for prayer to say, did I do enough? Can I get it? Am I going to be able to make it work? And I understand Black Cincinnati might be on the rise, if that's what you want to call it. And it might be, but you're going to have to show me something better than what you just showed me. You got to show me something better than this. This is not Black Cincinnati being on the rise. This is a bamboozled play. This is we making you think that a black contractor or a black developer is coming into Cincinnati. And that's not what's going on. And why would you word it like that? Thank you, Brother Davis. Thank you, brother. It says faith without works, corresponding acting is dead. Thank you. Now, I hope that, I don't know, hope is a hard word, but I'm hoping that I didn't sound like a jackass when I said that. I didn't mean it that way. I pray. But I'm just being honest with you. If you think that Black Cincinnati is on the rise because of what we're watching now of this development project, and you've just been thrown a curveball or a knuckleball of thinking, oh, black contractor, black developer, because that's not what they said. They didn't say black developer. They said minority. And when you hear the word minority, what do we always think? If you're just the average ear. Now, I'm not talking about my smart guys on the radios and on podcasts who understand that the language is manipulated. You guys are smart. You know that. But I'm talking about the lady, the man, sitting at home watching the Channel 9 news or the Channel 19 news at home and not even into talk radio or any of that stuff, who don't listen to it on a regular basis. If you're a hardworking man down at the post office and you don't listen to the talk shows, and your wife is a nurse and she don't listen to the talk shows, and y'all having dinner at home and you watching the 10 o'clock news and you hear minority contractor, minority developer coming into Cincinnati and he's doing this $300 and something million home, Macy's building, you sitting back saying, oh, black folks got that. I'm not shooting shots at anybody. I'm telling the truth. The average ear hears minority developer and they think black folks. It's the truth. It's the truth. And I just wanted to pull it for what it really was. I wanted to pull it for what it really was, because you and I both know that this is not a minority. Well, technically it is, but it's not what they have made us to believe or wanted us to believe. It's not that at all. It's not that at all. And my question to you that's more important than any of it, whether you think I'm spitting facts or not facts, why do it? if they don't feel like, I mean, was it an intentional act? Because I showed you a clip from a year ago of the of this same project and minority contractor, but the name of the company came up, but minority contractor never came up in the first news article. Never came up. Because it wasn't important then. Why is it important now? Yeah, I know. David says minority is not always black. Well, yeah, we know that, but the average ear don't really hear it that way. Like the man at the post. Look, I'm not saying anything about post office. I just happen to use it. I seen some mail right there, and I'm thinking post office. The man at the post office who don't listen to our shows, listen to our conversations. His wife is a nurse. He work at the post office. They having a great dinner at home at 10 o'clock, and they watching the news, and this guy comes on, and he says, minority contractor comes in, and then they put a black guy up. They put a black guy up
living downtown
to make it seem like it's a black company. You know, imagery is key. You show certain things to manipulate the mind of truth. But one thing that didn't pass me up, y'all see that sign behind that dude, don't y'all? Black trans lives matter. What the LL Cool J is that shit? Is that where we at with it? Is that where we are with it, man? I mean, come on, bro. And you using a non-black minority contractor out of New York. And y'all wonder why. I seen somebody put something on here a while ago. They said, what was it? I remember the name. I couldn't get the name of the company, but it was another minority. It was, what was the name of that company? I think it was, I promise I'm gonna close out on this. Evans Landscaping. Shit, that was so long ago when they said that. But I want to address it. Evans Landscaping did something that exactly what I'm trying to tell you this is, in a sense. What Evans Landscaping did was the owner, I think his name is Dave or Dan or something of that nature. He wait a minute. There's a difference between facts and truth. You've uncovered the truth beyond facts. Okay. And then Angela Kinney says, and he's in an interracial marriage, talking black and sleeping white. Ooh. All right, let me get to the landscaping spot. Evans Landscaping. He was convicted of using minority status. He had a black guy in a position of ownership of something that he really was running on the day-to-day. So he basically used the black guy to be the front of the company to get the minority contracts. I see it all the time in a different perspective. I want you guys to know how often this happens. The only difference is, and it happens with black guys stepping in those roles and being that spot for them. But it happens more in an area that I have to compete in business. And I find myself competing against minority female whites than I do black guys who are just kind of in spot for white companies and getting minority status. Maybe it's just the field of work that I was in, but I ran contracts with casinos across the country. I had a company, well, I still do. I have a company that provides I don't know, trinkets and apparel and things. One of our largest was the Atlantics Group. Okay, I did really well with them, and I found myself competing against white females that were classified as minority companies. That was they ran in that same circle. They were classified as minority contractors or minority groups. I don't know what else to tell you about it. I don't know. I just know that I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention because I think you should be asking questions. I think some questions should be asked to, okay, yeah, we hear you. It's a minority group that's coming in and do this work. See, here's my thing. I don't mind the job, but if I'm a chaos agent and I've been fooled to believe that this is a minority contract, that's a developer that's coming in here, and you didn't fool or tried to make me believe that it's a black person or
With
a
so
black
many
company.
different people moving in, they said it'll
you're
be
gonna
a
have to make
big
me
task.
understand
So
why
one
did
thing
you
that
give
they
that
are
false
happy about is this
presentation?
will open up
Why
a lot
did you
of
make
local
it
jobs.
seem like
So they say be on
it
the
was a
lookout
black
for
company?
team that nearly
Or
33%
I mean,
of
you can
those.
say that they didn't try to do that all you want.
Fountain Square.
You can
The
say they didn't
developers
try to
are
do that, but
The new
I know
Macy's
better than that.
development, it hasn't been.
You can't tell me that we sitting here talking about minority developer coming in, and this is the picture you put up on the screen, and I'm not supposed to believe that the contractor that's coming in or the developer that's coming in is not a black minority. You can't do that. They don't have a black person working for that team. Look up the company. They don't have a black corporate person. So you tell me what the hell is going on. You tell me why you ain't gonna say shit. You know why? Because you don't want to put that pressure on you don't want to put that pressure on your council or make them fall you don't want them to fall in any type of dust or any type of conflict that you would have put on the last administration. Now, I don't know what y'all done been through with those guys, but I know business. And I told you a year ago, I said, well, not a year ago, I told you when they got elected last year, I said, wait till they have to make a decision of a big project coming into the city and they put affordable housing on the back burner, or they have to make a decision just like this one right here. This couldn't be a better situation. I said, wait till they have to make this same decision. When they have to make a decision just like what we looking at right here, ain't nobody gonna say shit. It's gonna be business as usual. But they did one even better. And I'm not saying council had anything to do with this false presentation of a minority company. Somebody did. Because it's all of a sudden, Vitrex is all of a sudden a minority company. They mentioned nothing about that last year when they were talking about this same deal. It was the same company. It was the same numbers. It was the same deal. And it's the same thing they voting on now, the current administration, the current city council. So why now when you bring it up to us because it's on the plate to vote on, now why now is it so important to describe this developer as a minority company unless you're trying to fool motherfuckers to think that we involved some kind of way? But that all being said, I'm in favor of the deal. Call me what you want to call me. I'm in favor of the deal. Oh, so now let me ask you this. Angela Kinney says they got baptized by fire coming right out the gate. Yeah, this wasn't even really their deal, but they don't have to approve it. They have better situation now than the last administration. The last administration cooked it, looked at it, put it on the books, did everything. This administration, if they don't want it to happen, can vote it and say, no, we don't want it to happen. But they know the deal. They know it's a good deal. Your vice mayor said it herself, and I agree with her. It's an excellent fucking deal. But don't serve it to me like you served it to me. Don't make it seem like it's more than what it really is. It's not necessary. Just give us a good deal, put it in people's face, make people understand how it's a good deal. And don't hit me with no bullshit about minority-owned companies coming in here doing the work like you trying to curve us or make us feel like it's just, we killing 4 birds with 1 stone type of shit, because you not. Just take a good deal, be happy that you made a good deal, and don't try to curve people, making them feel like you've done more than what it really is. Because it's an excellent deal for the city in so many ways. It keeps people downtown, living downtown. It circulates tax dollars downtown. It adds parking downtown. It gives you stability for the businesses to have people to eat in their restaurants. It adds money to the public school system. It's a great deal all around. The only thing it's missing is the shit that chaos agents talk about. Affordable housing and why we ain't hiring no black folks for the job. So if you get that out your mind, if you can distract people from hollering about that, then you would know how much of a great fucking deal this is. But some of us can't get on our own way. And I understand probably why they would even do what they did by trying to bamboozle us and make us feel like it's a minority deal. Well, technically it is a minority deal, but you know it ain't the other minority. It ain't us. That's my time, man. I'll holler at y'all. See y'all tomorrow at 5. Peace and soul. Holla.